Oh my gosh, hey, how's it going? I feel like I say that in every video, except I believe this will be the first video, so maybe I don't. Maybe you're in for it. I don't know. Anyway, hi, hello. My name is Caitlin, otherwise known as Cait. So I realized that not very many people know much about me. And I feel like when you're following somebody, you kind of want to get to know them on a personal level. So I thought this would be a nice little treat way. I don't know. I thought we could get to know each other. So I'm gonna get ready and tell you some fun facts about me. Because why not? But first, coffee. Well, I guess the first thing you should know about me is that I talk in a lot of weird voices. So sorry, but not sorry. My accent just switches up like all the time. But you know what? We're doing it. It's fine. We're doing it. I'm gonna put some of these hair clips that I hate in my hair. I don't hate these. I hate when people like don't get all of their hair out of their face. It's just a pet peeve of mine because I'm like, how are you still doing your makeup, you know? But I need some protection right now because obviously my hair is already done, which I probably look like a freaking troll doll currently. But you know what? We're here. So anyway, I guess to start, I'll tell you like the basics. So my name is Caitlin, if you didn't already know that. I am 29 years old as of today. 29? Like officially an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. I was born February 21st, 1997 at 11:02 a.m. And yes, I am one of those people that don't consider having like an official birthday until the time that I was born. Because then it's like, I've been here exactly that amount of time, you know? The weird thing that I do. Oh, forgot a step. I have no idea if this actually helps, but we're gonna act like it does. I am originally from Overland Park, Kansas, but because I have bounced over the state line between Kansas and Missouri my whole life, I literally just say I'm from Kansas City because it's easier than trying to explain everywhere that I've lived in this general area. So one thing that has always been on my mind is wanting to help people. I think because I've just had this longing to, I don't want to say be included, but like feel seen, you know? And I almost wish that like I was able to help people in the ways that I kind of wish I was helped or could have been helped, or you know, there's somebody that was there like me for me when I was a kid. So it's always been on my mind, but I've wanted to do so many different things. For example, when I was real young, like 6, 7, 8 years old, I was super into cooking. Okay. I was so into cooking and Food Network, and I freaking loved Rachel Ray and Giada De Laurentiis and Kat Cora and Mario Batali and Emeril Lagasse. Like, there are so many people that I just absolutely loved watching, and I thought I was going to grow up and be on Food Network with them. So much so that I actually came up with an idea for a show. I wrote it down on a piece of notebook paper and I told my mom that I wanted to send it into Food Network and pitch them this show idea called Kids in the Kitchen. I wanted it to kind of be inspired by Rachel Ray of her 30-minute meals, and it be a show for kids that, you know, your parents don't have to do all the cooking, or it's really fun to get in the kitchen and enjoy what you're doing and cook with your parents. And there was going to be like a parent on set making sure everything was okay, and we would have like the plastic knives versus the real knives because, you know, I was 7 years old and I thought it was the best idea in the world. We never sent that note in. And then later, like 6, 7 years, I was in my teens, I believe, we got a magazine delivered to our house and I was flipping through it, and lo and behold, there is a like subtitle that says Kids in the Kitchen, and it wasn't a show. I can't remember exactly what it was at this current moment, but I was so upset because I was like, I could have made us millionaires at 7 years old. And that was my first true heartbreak, I believe. So So I have been watching YouTube since I was like 9 years old, 10 years old, something like that. And I originally started like with, of course, the OG beauty YouTubers, Jaclyn Hill, Bethany Moda, Tati, Glam Life Guru, Shan XO. Shan XO was my girl. Okay, let me tell you what, me and her, I was like one of the first ones to like click on her video. I was waiting for her videos. I loved her accent. I loved her makeup, just like everything about her. Shan XO could do no wrong in my eyes. And then it kind of morphed into like Graveyard Girl. I got into my later years, it was like Amber Caitlin Beal. There was one video that I still love to this day. It's just no longer on YouTube. It was Megan Jessica Marie, her big sexy eyes makeup tutorial. And I literally, this is gonna sound so weird, I have literally thought about asking her to just send me that video if she still has it, because it's like ASMR to me. I don't know why. I know every word of that video. That video itself, I think, spiraled my love for makeup, and I have no idea why. But throughout the years, I kind of got more into alternative makeup, I guess, scene kid makeup. And that is because the first time I ever wore makeup were for a wedding, and I just wanted to look pretty, you know? It was literally just eyeliner in the waterline. That was all it was. Didn't do mascara, didn't do foundation, literally just eyeliner in the waterline, okay? And then I was like, oh, I look pretty, oh my goodness. So I ended up wearing it to school that following week and immediately got called goth, which I think just changed my entire personality. It was funny though to me at the time because I was quite literally wearing Abercrombie monkey pajama shorts to school. I just had eyeliner on, but it like projected this like whole identity. Here's the thing. I am proudly an elder emo, okay? Maybe they knew something before I did. I didn't really understand like labels and all of that, but you know what? It worked out. It was actually slightly amusing because when I was in 7th grade, I actually started the year as a cheerleader and ended the year as a scene kid. Best transition I could have ever made. Like kind of slightly amusing because I'm fairly certain that my mom thought I was going through a phase at the time. Newsflash, it wasn't just a phase. I have been plus size my entire life. That terminology was not around when I was growing up, so really everybody just called me fat. But you know what? Cutest fat girl you ever did see, all right? Don't get me wrong, I have definitely struggled throughout my life. I still struggle to this day with body image, wanting to fit into clothes that I like. But a lot of retailers don't make the clothes in my size, and it's kind of a process. I'm actually going through, I don't want to say an existential crisis currently, but there's definitely, I'm trying to evolve my style right now and figure out what the heck that is for me. Because I realized very recently that I am done hiding the body that God gave me, and if I want to look cute, I'm gonna look cute, belly out or not, you know? And that's just that. Being completely upfront and honest, I have struggled with mental health my whole life. When I was 15, I was diagnosed with ADD, OCD, generalized anxiety disorder, depression, and social phobia. When the doctors diagnosed me, they believed it had started around age 12, which makes a lot of sense. But we just didn't really understand what was going on at the time. My parents thought I was just a hormonal, you know, preteen. Come to find out, I had massive anxiety. Crazy. Also, who would ever think that a 12-year-old could be depressed? It's possible, let me tell you. And because of that, I think that's why I'm so opinionated about mental health. I'd like to be a lot more vocal about it, and I'm hoping that these platforms will help me with that, because I know from personal experience that it doesn't help to keep it quiet. And if somebody else is possibly going through what you're going through, it's nice to know that, because it's like when you get in your brain, you just start thinking, I'm crazy. My brain is not making sense right now. Something has to be wrong with me. And it's so refreshing knowing that other people could possibly be going through what you're going through. I'm not going to say it's nice because nobody wants to go through that, right? But it's refreshing. When I was 15, I actually ended up dropping out of high school. That's a story for another time. And I actually ended up working starting at the age of 16, almost full-time. My very first ever job was at JCPenney. I got hired on as a seasonal employee for the holiday season, and I was one of the ones that got to keep their job and stay around. And I worked there. How long did I work there? Not quite a year, I believe. Yeah, my memory's jacked up. I don't know. But that was my very first job. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. I loved my coworkers. I actually ended up asking one of my coworkers out over a note that I had somebody else give to him. Turns out he had a girlfriend. That worked there. Didn't know. Thought he was cute. Shot my shot, you know? I was going to start this out by telling you guys about my previous relationships. That kind of led me into the idea of talking about my soulmate. I do believe that I have already met my soulmate, but they were not human. No, actually, he was a collie. When we got him, they told us he was a farm collie. I later found out that that's not an actual breed. So he was a full-blood collie. Most beautiful man you would have ever seen in your life. And I don't care. Everybody can say that their dog is the cutest. No, mine was. Okay. His name was Colonel James. Colonel was his name, but I gave him James for his middle name after my brother because he was originally my brother's dog when we got him, but my brother went off to college and joined the military at 18. Obviously could not bring Colonel with him, and he became my dog, which actually ended up being probably my biggest blessing in my entire life. I like to call him my little angel baby because his birthday was September 9th of 2009. And I cannot reiterate to you enough that he is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Quite literally, my soulmate, my son, my best friend wrapped into one fluffy 65-pound hunk of love. Just the best thing that's ever happened to me. I first started knowing and learning about nomadic living in like 2018, 2019, but I truly like fell in love with the idea of nomadic living around 2021 after I moved to Oklahoma. It's actually something that me and my dad bonded over and continue to bond over to this day. More on that in a later video, possibly. But I truly became invested in the entire lifestyle around 2021, and it was just a dream of mine to live on the road. I just could not fathom that. And then in 2023, after I had moved back from Oklahoma, my bonus dad ended up helping me turn that dream into a reality. And we were able to convert my 2013 Honda Pilot into a 29 cubic feet micro camper. And on January 17th, I believe it was, of 2024, I set out for Arizona. I lived in Arizona a total of 4 months, actually exactly 100 days. And it was very eye-opening, to say the least. It could have been planned better, but I also thought I would have been making a lot more money at the time, or I would have saved a lot more money. Things just didn't go my way. So in February of 2024, I actually ended up applying for a job, and I got it. And that is how I have the job that I currently have, which is an NRO trainer. What that means is a new restaurant opening trainer. So I quite literally get to travel for a job because I get to go open new restaurants across the United States. And when I tell you that is quite literally an answered prayer, there are some days that I forget that it's an answered prayer, and then I just have to remember where I was and where I am now. Currently, me and my bonus dad are actually reconverting my car into a micro camper. We are doing a little bit different of a setup this time, and I am super stoked about it, like you would not believe. And my goal is to car camp in all 49 continental states, but my true goal is to get to all 50, obviously. I just, can't sail my car to Hawaii. On my travels, I discovered my absolute love for collecting magnets. So I have grown quite the collection over the last couple of years or so. But anytime I go somewhere new, I get a new magnet so that I can bring it home. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things. I don't know why. Last year when I was 28 was the very first time that I ever saw the ocean. Yes, I know. It's hard for me to believe as well. And then actually just a couple of months ago, I took a work trip to Oregon and I actually got to put my feet into the ocean. And that was, if you think about moving anywhere, for me, it's Oregon, okay? Yeah. Out of all the social medias, I do not have TikTok. Oh, hey, editing Caitlin here. I'm telling you all right now about why I don't have TikTok and why I deleted it 4 or 5 times, but I actually ended up making a liar out of myself because I definitely re-downloaded it after a conversation with my sister. So actually, you can follow me on TikTok now if you want. Okay, thanks, bye. You have to shake this so much because the glue settles at the bottom. But man, is this such a good setting spray. If anyone were to ask me what my one true goal in life would be, I'd first and foremost say to live a life that is pleasing to God, but ultimately one that I am content with. And that has been such a struggle to get to my entire life. But there was a moment in my life that I did not want to be here. I did not think I was going to be here. And I think God has really turned that around for me. So ultimately, I want to please him with the life that he's given me. But I just want to be content. Like, truly, that's all I want. That's all I want. Once heard somebody say that if God placed it on your heart, it won't go away. And I have been wanting to have my own YouTube channel since I was like 10, 12 years old. I just never had the confidence when I was that young. And honestly, makeup was not the big escape for me that I know it is for a lot of other creators. I just didn't know what my niche was. And now I like so many different things of life that I hate being placed into a box that, I know I'm so much more than. So I just want to do and document what I like. I like makeup. I like doing makeup. I like seeing my eyes pretty, I love traveling. I love car camping. It's so much fun. I love reading. I like finding new hobbies. I have gotten really into art, Well, not really into art. I'm not good by any means, but I like finding different things, and things just occupy my time and my brain at different points in my life. And I think that's okay. I don't feel like everyone has to have a niche, and I want to be here to tell people that, like, you don't have to be placed into one box. I was actually having this conversation with my transition coach at school the other day, and she said, we were talking about degrees, and she had mentioned it's better to get this 2-year degree and have the option to explore after that than get this 4-year degree and figure out that that's not what you want to do in your life. And I was like, you're right, Danny. You are right. I kind of just roll with that mentality, I think you should do what it is that is good and pleasing, not only to God, but to you as well, and find a life with meaning in that. And I think this is mine. I'm hopeful this is mine. I'm hopeful that this community, these platforms, were his push to be like, Caitlin, just do it. You've wanted to do it for so long. I put this on your heart. Do it. And I want to share that. So that's why we're here. I do just want to say that, like, by no means am I perfect. Honestly, probably literally the farthest from it. But I'm trying. And I just want to show other people that it's okay to try. You know, I used to say the quote by Yoda, do or do not, there is no try. I disagree with that now, because yes, you can do it and it succeeds. Yes, you can do it and it fails. I do agree with that. But I'll be damned if you don't feel like waking up in the morning and you wake up and you live another day. You are trying and you are doing your absolute best. I just wanted to say that and get that out of the way. Because I know from personal experience what it's like to not want to try. And everybody that doesn't want to try but still does deserves a freaking standing ovation. Okay, that's my opinion. But anyway, I digress. So if any of that at all sounds appealing to you or relatable, I would love to have you here, and I would love for you to join me on whatever the heck is about to happen in this life. Because as my grandmother says, it's one day at a time. So if you would like to go one day at a time with me, I would love to have you. That's it. That's it. That's it. I don't know how to end this, so okay, bye.